Hey, everybody! It's Matt Cuth here. And I'm casting Z Factor versus Marty Chang Slayers. Hope y'all are having a good day. We got a crazy exciting match. Let me just post. God, they're flying through! Holy wow! Sorry, I looked away for 2 seconds to post the going live message. And wow, we got 2 picks, 2 bands. Let's see, Doom Tiny, banned, super common, super meta, not at all surprised, from Z Factor. On the side of Marty Chang Slayers, we have a Venom Mars band, both of those heroes pretty annoying. Lich Mirana, picked for Z Factor, solid support lineup, could also be that core Mirana. And then we have the Ench Earthshaker, another solid support combo. Now, while they go through their second phase bans here, I just want to take a second to talk about how hype I am for this match. Z Factor, we saw them last week take out Victoria's Secret. Now they're playing Marty Chang Slayers, a team that has only dropped 1 game. Not even 1 series, 1 game this season. You know who they dropped it to? They dropped it to Victoria's Secret, baby. And Z Factor beat them by, what is it, the law of transience? Transient properties or whatever. That means Z Factor should win. And I'm hyped. I'm hyped to see the Dops show once again. It's going to be a wild ride. And hold on 1 second, I have to check something. Alright, it did work. Oh, hold on. Hold on, lads. I have to check my settings. Alright, we're good now. Sorry, I just had to turn on a toggle mute for the stream. Oh god. Oh god. My bad. You know, in case I got them coughs or whatever. I don't want y'all hearing that. So let's look at the Phase 2 bands. Sand King, a very respectable band. Spectre, also not too unexpected. Underlord, the most stable offlaner. Not at all surprised to see him banned. Probably gonna see a couple more carries. Maybe see that Anti-Mage ban, a Terrorblade ban. We'll have to wait and see. Boom, baby! There's one of them. I don't know if I actually said Terrorblade, but I was thinking Terrorblade. A hero that is very common right now. Very strong, has high comeback potential, and can just win a game on his own.
10 seconds remain. 5 seconds remain. You must choose. Radiant must choose.
The Faceless Void Band, very respectable. Sven's made it through the pool, and that's a hero. And farm, he can fight. Obviously doesn't like the Void, but now doesn't have to worry about it. Very powerful. Can keep up with the Mirana once he has that Aghanim. Just a solid carry pick.
10 seconds. 5 seconds.
But now it's Z Factor's turn to respond, and they will take the Slardar. Oh god, I love Slardar. He's been coming back into the pool. That minus armor is just so powerful. And especially when you pair with a hero like Mirana, you have easy arrow setup. They'll respond with the Bloodseeker, another solid offlaner. Probably the star offlaner of this patch, if I'm being honest.
Seconds. 5 seconds.
Now it's time for Z Factor's response. Marty Chang Slayers, their draft is a little bit more set in stone, we'll say. Ooh, and the PA. PA, obviously very good against the right click of Sven with the dodge, but honestly, to me, seems a little bit vulnerable for the rest of the team. She likes moving around a lot, and Earthshaker and Bloodseeker both give that problems. One thing that I will say is Z-Factor are still flexible with this Murano. We're not sure if it's mid or not, whereas Marty Chang Slayers, I mean, you can read it like a book. Ench 5, Shaker 4, Sven 1, Bloodseeker 3. It's not a bad thing, but there's that little bit of maneuverability on the side of Z-Factor's draft. Now, I say that. Marty Chang Slayers are the one with the last pick, so it's probably not going to make too much of a difference here. As we enter the final stage of bans.
Dire's turn to ban. Radius turn to ban.
Looks like both teams banning out those Spirit Brothers. Don't want to deal with it.
10 seconds. 5.
And honestly, it is understandable. Those high mobility heroes, especially the Storm, has the capability of chasing down that PA. Let's use a second ban out the Invoker. A strong team fighter would have definitely given his team a very intimidating team fight ability, or damage if he chose to go that way.
Radiant's turn to pick. Dire must
Final ban of the Magnus makes sense. It's an amplifier, but that's a Z-Factor pick. That Death Prophet adding some push. The Ghost deal physical damage. They actually have quite a bit of physical damage on their cores, which is real nice to pair with Slardar.
10 seconds remain.
But DP may struggle a bit into Sven, especially once he has that Aghanims. The Yules of the DP not going to do much. Going to be hard to survive. Marty Chang Slayers will pick up a last pick Clinks.
Today.
Now we're going into the second game, or the first game of the series. My brain was thinking series and first game, and the Essence series turned into second. It's a nightmare, baby. But honestly, both teams' lineups are very solid. The one thing I'm concerned about, Z-Factor don't have a lot of reliable disable. Obviously, the Priora Lich has that pullback. Dops has the arrow. And they have the stuns from Slardar. But no real good setup for Dops. On the other hand, you have Earthshaker, you have Sven. Two excellent stunners. Bloodseeker doesn't really offer a stun, but he offers a lot of control and area denial with that Blood Ray. So, I like their fight a bit better, but then again, if the jump comes out for the side of Z-Factor, they could just annihilate a fight here. Both teams, though, have excellent catch. And we'll just have to see how this Clinks does. Clinks an interesting hero since they reworked him back into old Clinks. Okay, good. For a second, we were not on our casting line, but that's okay.
For battle.
So it is going to be, obviously, the DP mid. Nothing really surprising here. Dops! We saw her powerful Elder Titan in the last week. I'm excited to see this Mirana. My personal top 3 hero in Dota. It looks like we're seeing it just go for these wards. 2 for 2. Earthshaker, that's got to be spotted out. Love and Laughter has to know what just happened, but no ping coming out. Maybe he didn't realize, but that's a pretty obvious ward, having seen that placement.
30 seconds and counting.
Now, We're gonna see probably, if I had to imagine, a 2-for-2 on the runes. I feel like bottom is probably gonna get secured by Jinx here. The Fissure is just too powerful. You can just block this, but he's actually electing not to. I can go back for the creeps. It's going to be just the Bloodseeker. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we have two. The arrow will come out, but Sven will be the one to get the rune. Get some good damage. And that looks like it will go 2-for-2. The fact that Lich hasn't sent that courier out. I guess they didn't realize that ward was there. Gonna be unfortunate. That's 150 gold and some good XP for a support. As we head into the start of this game, though, looking at the mid matchup, haven't seen a whole bunch of Clinks mid. I feel like DP's not really going to struggle too much. There is obviously the potential for high burst from this Clinks, but until he hits level 6, he's not very tanky. Xenon will have a lot of sustain with that Siphon. He'll have a lot of harass with the ghosts. Yeah, just like he's doing now. So I think this will be a pretty okay lane, although he did a lot of tower hits. That was actually far closer than it needed to be. Man, up top, Enchantress is a powerful laner. It's going to depend, I think, a lot on the skill of this Enchantress to really secure the lane. It's a very high kill potential. Slardar with a bash and a stun, they could definitely kill a hero. Meanwhile, down bottom, Fiora will get out of the range of the Bloodright. Could be very scary lane for Priora, but I don't think you're at much risk if you're Love and Laughter. You have a lot of ways to get out of everything here. But up top, Dops takes a lot of damage. Tosses the arrow, but Sven doesn't run away fast enough. Meanwhile, down bottom, Earthshaker has the move speed. Courier will fall. Good side pull from Dops. Just to take control of this lane. Look at Noob over here. No salve. And Kandare too. They're both getting harassed pretty heavily here. And they have to know that this pull's happening. The question is, will they really be able to contest it?
Denied.
Could be dangerous for them, especially if Mangadormu comes in. Doesn't look like he will. Oh no, and the Vul Assassin creep. You hate to see it. And actually, Dops has to be a bit careful. She'll get stunned up, but already had the leap off. Arrow now on cooldown. Now the one thing, as Earthshaker does manage to narrowly escape. The one thing is Dops does have this Sacred Arrow. And the Vul Assassin, well, it's good. Can get taken out and just be free money. So far, lane's looking pretty good. For the side of Radiant, Slardar, as expected, kind of just getting whatever he wants. I feel like you're never really going to be at risk as a Slardar into a melee core. And there it is. Yeah, that arrow just negating the Ench. Meanwhile, though, Burrow Hobbit could be in trouble. A really nice Bloodright. The combo from Jinx will deal a lot of damage south onto Burrow Hobbit, and he's got a lot of speed. But I don't know if it's going to matter. The stun will connect on Priora, but they do get the silence, but it's just not going to be enough. As ultimately, no kills will be had. Jinx, though, that is a very nice Q, but it won't save, or it won't secure them to kill. Love and Laughter will also manage to blink out. They're both very low. Jinx, though, taking a lot of damage. That Fissure coming off cooldown in 5 seconds, and Priora's got to be very careful. It looks like he is going to go down. Puts down the Ice Armor, but it's not enough. Jinx, that's another Fissure. Will hit it. The silence will come out. And now it's Love and Laughter's turn to be very careful. She has a blink,
Assassin.
but won't get it off. And that's 2 kills for the bottom lane as we see a Dops rotation. An arrow could be big, but there is a ward there to scout it out. The Mangadormu, he's going to be okay. I don't think you're really afraid of anything. He's gonna build up his bash charges. The arrow will not connect. Meanwhile, though, Xenon is not afraid to go on the Clinks! With that DD rune. Obviously going to be very powerful. But Polo's done a pretty good job of staying in this game. 5-minute bounties. Looks like it's going to go 2 for 2 here. Dops has to be careful! And will fall. I believe that was just a normal right click. And that's going to make the bounties go 3 for 1. Oh, but Jinx is taking a lot of damage. That DD's still up. Slows there. Jinx runs under the tower. I don't think you're going to be able to chase if you're DP. Totally out of mana for the moment. Dops is here. Dops has an arrow. Dops could toss it. The ward is popped. But don't Dire knows about this. The creep wave, though, currently blocking the arrow. Will come out, hits the creep wave. Unfortunate. Looks like just not quite paying the full amount of attention needed, as now Earthshaker will go to secure this rune. But it looks like it may be a top spawn, and indeed it is. An invis will go to the Clinks. Now Xenon having a real rough time without having that bottle. Give Clinks the time he needs to get his lead in this lane. Love and Laughter also having a very rough time here, falling behind on the Sven a little bit. But ultimately, clearly, the real winner of this laning stage is Mangadormu, as he approaches his level 6 quite rapidly. And once he has it, he will be quite powerful. Meanwhile, though, Clinks. A lot of harass. The ghosts are popped. Xenon wants to go in. Will get Fissure blocked out. However, this may just turn into a tower for the side of Radiant. Jinx has to be careful. The arrow comes out, connects! The ghosts, the Crypt Swarm, that's a kill for the mid. And that Fortify is not going to do anything here, due to the ghosts just being a powerful presence. Now they are going to expire as the tower falls. Xenon will get the last hit. That's a great start! That is a fantastic start if you're on the side of Z Factor. Apologies. Game bugged out a bit there. Hobbit farming up a storm. Meanwhile, Ench dies. I am the fool, it would seem. Oh, Hobbit puts down the Rupture onto Priora. Priora has to be very careful, will fall to the Earthshaker. That is a kill for Jinx. Meanwhile, Sven leaves the lane, giving this lane over entirely to the Slardar, going for the first item Vladimir's offering. Not a bad option. Will offer the team a lot of fight if they wish to fight early. The arrow will not connect. Mangadormu only has 2 charges. Maybe a bit of a hard kill, but Kender is in a lot of trouble here. The minus armor is strong, tries to get the enchant onto Mangadormu, tries to run away. Dops trying to get the body blocks, but not quite able to. Now, no one's in the area. Dops tosses the arrow, isn't dodged, and that'll be a kill for Dops. What a huge setup. And up top, you see DP rotating in 9 minutes, so no catapult here. But they do have the Exorcism in 1 second. Will immediately pop it. Give that second tower. Dire not really in a position to defend this tower. Looks like instead they will just try and go on Priora in the bot lane. Meanwhile, though, they're also sieging mid, but Burrow Hobbit, gotta be careful. That minus armor is powerful. Mangadormu has the stun, has the bash, and that's a dead Burrow Hobbit. As on the mid lane, they find the Earthshaker. Xenon sees Jinx. Love and Laughter also there.
Look to their top.
They won't get a kill, but they will protect their tower, as Dops will acquire the top tower for herself. Jinx doing an okay timing for that Blink Dagger. Oh man, the haste rune is top. Xenon doesn't have it. Love and Laughter knows it's there, is going for it. Will pick it up.
Lies.
Prevent the Clinks from getting it.
Prize is mine.
And so far, this is a pretty okay start for the side of Z-Factor.
Who spoiled that shot?
Mangadormu has elected to change his build, now going for that Blink Dagger is well on the way. Burrow Hobbit is here, but with the ultimate from the Mirana, they'll see the top lane play, but more importantly, they'll set up onto Burrow Hobbit. Entering the trees, trying to juke, but will get spotted out. Now, gets ulted, gets bashed, gets stunned, and this is... Oh, Priora! Priora secures that kill, as up top, Xenon in a bit of trouble. The Echo Slam off of the creep camp will secure them the mid laner. That... Oh. That's probably a solid trade for the side of Radiant. Love and Laughter, though, well on the way to that Battle Fury. Is going a bit slower than you'd maybe hope for. As we switch over to the net worth here, you can see just behind the Sven. But not a bad timing by any stretch. As we see supports for the side of Dire here, just kind of flailing a bit. Not exactly flailing, but definitely, you know, you see the clear double kill potential here from Z-Factor. You see the Mirana right behind the DP, almost gets a huge arrow. But now we do see some grouping from the side of Dire. Marty Chang Slayers invading the safe lane tower. But meanwhile, though, Z-Factor are invading for this Sven. They see him, the arrow comes out, will connect with the creep. The bash is there. The stun, but they have to be very careful. This is Dire territory, and indeed they'll back up. Xenon actually goes in deep, but just exposes himself. Although Burrow Hobbit dropping fast, the Spirit Siphons are powerful. So far, no one lost. Dust comes out onto Polo. Dops tries to get out. She will fall. The Chain Frost, though, comes out, bounces. Unfortunate so far. Will do a lot of damage to Kender. They have to be careful. A big Blood Right is going to silence onto Mangadormu here, and he's very weak. Priora tries to get the slow. Xenon is there. Has to be very careful. Those ghosts are coming back any second now. You might be able to heal up. Meanwhile, Mangadormu with the speed will get out. DP back up to half HP. But all they lose is the Mirana. And this whole time, Love and Laughter farms. Love and Laughter getting closer and closer to that Battle Fury. And you rotated out 5 heroes into that mid lane while they weren't farming, chasing those kills. So I think if you're on the side of Z-Factor, you're pretty happy. Oh man. Kender just puts the Alpha Wolf onto Burrow Hobbit. Radiant kind of grouping up and letting Love and Laughter farm on his own. Now I have been informed and found that they do tend to do this. They like to play together and just leave Love and Laughter to farm on his own, let him get those items, and I'll tell you what, they have a strong lineup for it. As the Blink Dagger purchased for Mangadormu, this is a big increase in power. Looks like Priora finds the Sven, but obviously can't do anything. Mirana is up top, and this is going to be the Blink Dagger reveal most likely. Or will they even need to? They will. So now, Dire will know about that Blink Dagger, but they will secure a kill for it. And it was an important one. Earthshaker was very close to that Blink Dagger. And now is delayed. The smoke will come out, and the Vanish. Side of Radiant, or side of Dire, don't have any vision of the Radiant half of the map. Manga Dormu is in a good position to catch someone. They do have good vision here. So they go up aggressive. They'll take a blink onto the Clinks. The arrow will come through, but it'll hit the Enchantress Keep. The dust also comes out. Polo getting very weak, will drop. Now it's Kendare's turn as he runs underneath the tier 2 tower. He will fall here. The Lich Chain Frost comes up, but a big Echo Slam doing a good amount of damage, but not a lot of creeps. Xenon not really needing to move, as now the Earthshaker and the Bloodseeker will also both fall. And they have this Exorcism for another 7 seconds, so they're probably not going to get anything out of it here. Don't know the fence there, but they may push in mid. It would be a good timing with that catapult. They see Noob there. They have heroes in the vicinity. Manga Dormu goes in, gets the stun, gets the ultimate, but instantly the TPs from Dire are coming in. Dobbs, though, gets a huge silence, and now they have to be very careful. If they lose Noob, it could be a disaster for them, but instead they'll take out Manga Dormu. Xenon has to be very careful. Doesn't have any charges of Spirit Siphon left. The arrow is going to miss Fiora, trying to walk out, and they will lose Xenon in the meantime. Dobbs, now on the run, does have a leap charge and a mechanism. Pops the leap, takes the DD. The mechanism is available. Burrow Hobbit is here to try and delay. Dobbs will dodge that Blood Right. Is now, though, unable to juke and will fall. So a good turnaround from Dire to get them back into this game. Or maybe not necessarily back into this game, but to prevent it from starting to slip. If they had killed the Sven, maybe gotten the tier 2, it could have been very bad for Dire. But so far, a dead even game. 10-9. A 1k net worth lead. Win probability also very even, but what I was really interested in the XP, see that fight ticks that XP advantage down. Even the win probability ticks down. Net worth ticks down. All that's important is now the tier 1 takes some fire. They do have a Fortify, unlikely to fall here. But no, Manga Dormu goes in onto the Earthshaker. Earthshaker will not get arrowed up. A Chain Frost comes out, but there's no one for it to bounce to. Jinx gets healed by the mechanism of the Bloodseeker, but it's not going to be enough. As Kendare now hops away. Radiant looking for more, but they don't really have good vision. They are invis. The Noob is nearby, and they should see it running away. Is Manga Dormu going to chase? They'll find the courier. Stops. Sees the courier. 1 arrow. 2 arrows. That's a point booster. That's a significant amount of money to go down. Burrow Hobbit defends middle lane. Doesn't have that mana boot, though, and is out of mana. So will be forced to retreat back to the fountain. So, Radiant, they make a good play to come back into this. Now, they're going to have to be careful on the side of Dire. Because they're not getting this Obs ward. It's a pretty obvious ward position, but they're just not quite getting it. Oh no, and Clinks could be in trouble. Goes to farm, hits the button. The Manga Dormu's here. The stun misses, but he does have the vision, so it shouldn't matter. He's coming in. Does have the bash primed. Will hit it. Dobbs misses the arrow onto the stun. That's disastrous as now Noob comes in and hits a 2-man stun. All of Dire starting to rotate. Jinx is here. Has the Blink Dagger. Smoke gets popped. Hits an Earthshaker onto 3. Blink. Echo. Dobbs going to go down rather quickly. No, the mechanism comes out. Xenon pops the ultimate. Now Dire have to be very careful as Jinx rapidly taking damage. Looks like he will follow the ghost, but Xenon is in a lot of trouble. He gets obliterated by this Clinks, who doesn't yet have that MKB. A big Chain Frost comes out from Priora, but they Delta split just in time. Manga Dormu will also die. I'm getting better at play-by-play, but I still can't call his name quickly. As Priora puts on the Ice Armor, getting chased by Burrow Hobbit. Now can no longer juke and will fall to the last arrow. A big fight for the side of Dire, but the whole time, the plan of Z Factor. Let's just take Love and Laughter and move him somewhere else. And now he's getting close to that Desolator. Although, a perfect timing for Dire. They will take the tier 2 tower. They will take the outpost. They will likely get 2 bounty runes, maybe 3, depending on where Love and Laughter is at this 20-minute mark. So they're in a position to start escalating their own game. Sven has the Echo Mask, going for BKB. The MKB is out for Polo. He eats his own child! You monster. Now he has a significant amount of damage, and it looks like, so far, we are 2 for 2 on those bounties. Love and Laughter. The Desolator. 500 gold from completion. Manga Dormu. Waiting in the Roche pit. Dire's vision is heavily positioned around this triangle. I don't blame them. Shadows comes out. Potom ults. Manga Dormu waits in the pit. They have really good vision of this from this high ground ward. Somehow not being dewarded. Radiant, though, doesn't look like they want to engage. They know that all of Dire's heroes are here. They're happy just to keep farming, at least for the moment. Manga Dormu may be the target to go on. They want this mid tower. It's about half HP. They have a good creep wave. The Rupture comes out onto Manga Dormu. He will walk away. Polo quickly taking out this tower. No Fortify. The arrow hits on the Clinks and the Silence. He could be in a lot of trouble. Stunned up, taking a lot of damage. He will get the eat off, so he has a lot more HP. They have to be careful of Jinx. Jinx has the blink, but doesn't get it off. And now a big Chain Frost. This one not being dealt to split. Finally, the blink comes in. PA getting very weak with the Chain Frost bouncing back and forth. Sven will fall. So far, 4 heroes dead, as we also lose Polo on the sideline. Now it's up to Burrow Hobbit. A big arrow, but I don't think it's going to have the range. As he starts walking away, she's going up top. But don't start farming. You're not safe yet. Xenon's here, gets the lift off. The arrow isn't in position yet, but the dagger's slow. First hit crit. One more should do it. They don't even need it. A 5-man wipe for Dire, and they lose no one. And it was just the perfect interrupted timing of that Earthshaker Blink Echo. Even with that fight, this will obviously start to swing the net worth, but we're only at a 4K lead. This game just neck and neck, but it feels like Radiant may have hit their power spike, may have hit their timing, as they looked very powerful that fight. And they're going to go into the Roche pit. It looks like Manga Dormu, will put on that minus armor with the Deso. This Roche could fall very quickly. Also having that Vlad, I don't think this Roche is going to stand much of a chance, and Love and Laughter is going to get that second life, I do have to imagine. And this is looking good for Radiant. They've got the tier 2, they got the outpost, now they get the Roshan. They're in a position where now they dictate what happens this game. And look at this, they find Kandera up top, but they'll let him go. Not even worth it, he says. I've got to say, hard as it is to pronounce, I love Manga Dormu's name. It is just a joy to speak about. Going for that halberd. Very understandable choice in the Clinks. And Sven. Xenon going for that Shiva's Guard. Priora obviously building a 4 staff. Glimmer could also be good this game. You see Dops? What's coming to you, Dops? That's not your courier. That's the Ogre Axe for the PA going for that BKB. Just some minor items, so nothing really set in stone yet. One nice thing about Mirana is she is very item independent. It looks like they're going to preemptively pop a Shadows, but Dire have done an excellent job of putting sentries on wards. So they'll know exactly what's happening. Burrow Hobbit, though, she's in a dangerous position, caught out by Priora, who will fear her back. The arrow comes in with the bash. There is no hope for Priora here, or for Burrow Hobbit, as Priora finds the initiation. Manga Dormu will go back, defend this tier 3, but that'll be a tier 2 for the Radiant for sure, as without Burrow Hobbit, very difficult to fight. And even with that said, Love and Laughter fighting going down rather quickly. Does have the blink out. Meanwhile, though, chains onto Jinx. Jinx does have the Echo Slam, but it will be hard to get a good one here. You can see Dire grouping up. Radiant not wanting to push the tier 3 yet, but a smoke for Dire. Importantly, though, Love and Laughter didn't lose that Aegis. So, still very strong. Ghosts were popped. Actually, and there, maybe in a spot of trouble. Self, or is it Priora who stayed too long? The arrow to pop the creep, the blink, the stun. I think that's a dead Lich. This is a courier, delivers him his items. Actually puts down the Chain Frost. I think it's 3 hits. And now Radiant have to enter full retreat mode. Dobbs is in an interesting position. Wants to get that bounty, will do so. Now she has to be very, very careful. She is on the low ground where her poor Lich just died. Yeah, though, look at how online she is. Has the BKB now. But Sven, doing a good job of keeping up on the net worth. Not obviously at the same net worth, but doing an okay job of farming up. He's going for that AC, so the Aghanim still a ways away. Doesn't think he needs the mobility just yet. And Jinx going for that. Wait. Oh, never mind, we'll wait later. Kandare is trying to get out, but will get bashed, will get stunned. Jinx, though, is nearby. The arrow won't connect onto anything, and now Mangadormu has to get out. The blink, the echo, that's a twofer. Dobbs, actually, with the big mechanism, is getting out so far. Will salve up. Priora is there to assist. Polo has to be very careful. The stomp will not come in time to save him. The dust won't connect. The arrow is a good one, but dodged swiftly by the side of Dire. It looked good for Radiant, that it looked good for Dire, and then overall, I think you're probably happy if you're Radiant. You get a kill onto your PA. Obviously, Klinks gets a lot of money, but still, I think you're overall okay with that fight on Radiant. Because that Earthshaker used Echo Slam, and that is a significant portion of their team fight. An arrow comes in, doesn't connect with anything, just a fishing arrow, as PA does nothing to Sven. It's got 10 armor, and you are just a PA illusion. Lynx is doing a good job of farming on his own, getting closer and closer to that BKB. The Aegis will be reclaimed in about 18 seconds. Very shortly here. See the Sven? May I like to go on him? Noob is in a pretty poor position, honestly, here. He gets crit once, the BKB from the PA. That's a dead Sven, does have a dieback. They're also looking for the Bloodseeker. The Aegis popping very soon here. Kandare gets a good bit of damage taken. And they'll take out the Earthshaker as well. That's 3 deaths, only the Sven with buyback. The Aegis has popped, as you heard from that little sound effect here. But now, with the Ghosts and the PA, they're going to have to be very careful about how they take this engagement. The game may just end if they lose either their Klinks, or to a lesser extent their Enchantress. The Klinks doesn't have buyback, and actually buys out the BKB. So if Klinks dies, the game is certainly over. As we see 2 sentries on the high ground, they ping the range Drax. They're still splitting, they're not doing their best job of committing here. And it's a little scary. They'll get out now as Dire respawns, losing no one. Getting that first bit of map pressure. Mangadormu also picks up the Heaven's Halberd. Stops, wisely pings the outpost. She knows when you play that pause 4, you know it's outpost time. Oh, and a quickening charm. That is a powerful item. There are many heroes on Radiant, as they actually are going to invis up They see Polo here. They know that the invis is there, but they have vision onto Polo. Polo going to die rapidly. Pops the BKB, but he is revealed. They have to be a little bit careful. A good stun, but obviously he isn't going to pierce the BKB. Mangadormu gets the disable onto the Sven, but he pops the ultimate and he'll take him out. Meanwhile, the Polo, very weak. He has to be very careful. Burrow Hobbit on about half HP, but Dire, they smell blood in the water and they decide to chase.
Radiant's courier has been
Meanwhile, though, DP manages to TP out. It is now a get-out situation for Radiant. All they lose is the Slardar. Likely going to lose the Tier 1 tower as well. No BKB for PA. And they do still have that God Strength for half its duration. That's going to be, what, like 20 seconds now? Yeah, 20 seconds. But this could be a little bit risky for the side of Dire. Yeah, you have damage, but you have to be careful. The arrow comes through, doesn't clip Jinx, but very nearly does. That now Dire's turn to start backing out. Xenon tries to push up, but will elect not to. Now Earthshaker, that is a Shadow Blade, so he's going for the Silver Edge build-up, which is good into this PA. I did actually know that, but my brain couldn't wrap its head around the new build-up for it. And I was thinking that he was missing about half the items for a Silver Edge, which he definitely is, because he hasn't queued the other half. But ultimately, with that push, while Dire does take that Tier 1, they are going to lose out on both outposts. The bounties are going to go 2 for 2, though. Assuming that Love and Laughter goes for it. But up top, Clinks has been targeted. Smoke from Love and Laughter.
The prize is mine.
But not going to really find anything. Meanwhile, down bottom, Burrow Hobbit pushes in. Slardar is forced to assist. Slardar's being the one to pick up the AC for the side of Z Factor. Sven is the one going for it on his team, and he's feeling kind of slowed down. But luckily, it's not a single core. You have the Clinks, and the Clinks does do quite a bit for you. He is good damage. It looks like Radiant are content to play around this Roshan. 47 seconds. A smoke from Dobbs will find Burrow Hobbit, but Radiant's in the area. The arrow will come out the stun. Xenon gets the silence, gets the slow. Dobbs doing a good job of just stopping the blink from the Earthshaker from going off. And now a big catch. They get the disarm onto the Clinks. Clinks pops the BKB. The Chain Frost, though, isn't going to connect because he instantly pops. And the dagger will pop the Clinks. And that's exactly what you want, as now Burrow Hobbit shall be the target. They're going to go ahead and ignore the Enchantress, the Blink, the Stun, but I doubt that Ench is going to get away either. And indeed, the silence, well, it will proc. The arrow doesn't quite connect, but the vision's there. And I have no hope for this Ench as she goes down rapidly. And that's 3 picks. And they should know Roshan's up, but instead they're electing to go for this mid lane. They don't have the ghosts. There are 2 buybacks for the side of Dire. Echo Slam still available, so this is by no means an unwinnable fight for the side of Dire. Mangadormu will get the stun, the dust, the blink. He pops, no buyback. That is in fact a dieback. And without that Echo Slam, now suddenly it looks significantly worse. Sven is just pushing in bottom, but with all this minus armor. The AC not complete, but the Deso proving to be powerful, and the Orb of Destruction. I don't think Sven's going to be able to take anything. Getting good pressure onto the tier 3 tower, but I don't think it's going to be enough. As Radiant, they just exit cleanly, safely. They're trying to catch Love and Laughter, but Love and Laughter has the TP, and they don't have an interrupt. He will get out. And now Sven, he has to be careful. Mangadormu with the perfect blink. I do believe it was blind. The disarm. Priora has the chains to pull him back. And that feels very awful for the side of Marty Chang Slayers, as Z Factor have proven themselves to be a powerful force. You gotta be so careful around them. They just have a way of getting these picks and turning these picks into objectives. Now, finally, 2 lanes down, they say, Tier 1, your time has come. Dire forced the split push.
Its top tower is under attack.
Actually, it looks like they will do a good job of getting some tier 2 towers up. Bloodseeker and the Clinks both pushing, but oh no, look at this. Manga Dormu is just leading the charge, will be exposed to this Obs ward.
Radiant structure
But
fortified.
I think if you're on the side of Radiant, when you see that DD, you're going to clear your triangle and then you're going to pivot into Roche.
Vanish.
Burrow Hobbit has to be careful, as does Polo. You have a sentry. Polo just outside of it. Just barely. But they'll catch him. Xenon gets the silence. The Siphon, Burrow Hobbit looks like he may want to come out, but they get the vision onto him. There's no interrupt for Polo just yet, but they know that Burrow Hobbit's there. PA obviously not showing up. Priora finds the perfect Force Staff. The chains, though, do get canceled, but this is definitely a dead Burrow Hobbit. There is no hope for her as she gets stunned up, tries to take out Priora, but will not be allowed to. And now Love and Laughter has the second Aegis to Cheese on her, likely to get tossed over, if I had to imagine, to the DP, but maybe the Slardar. And look at this. They know. They've seen it. And look at Manga Dormu. No fear, TP's in. He wants blood. He can taste it. The scan is perfect. Noob hasn't TP'd out just yet. Hiding deep in the trees. The TP coming now. Manga Dormu will not find anything. They'll have to catch off Polo as well as he goes to cut the previous wave. Never mind. They catch Kender. Now, unfortunately, Kender been having a very rough game on this edge. Not really able to get a whole lot done, but not really surprising when you're on the back end. Those creeps only do so much. Love and Laughter may just try and pierce through this back door. Polo clearing out the waves on the back line, but it's not going to matter. They have two waves coming, and look at Manga Dormu. He is in the prime position to catch this man.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
The only question is, will he? Polo sees the courier, will go for it, but that could be disastrous now. Manga Dormu not actually going to go for it, just staying back. Arrow isn't going to connect onto anything. We have a 4-for-4 exchange right now. Manga Dormu, though, he gets the vision. Under the sentry is Polo. Polo will take the stun, gets bashed by the PA. Now, Dire, though, they elect to move forward with that. The arrow comes out. A big stun on the Burrow Hobbit. Lynx has the Echo, but it's not going to really connect onto much. Only hits Xenon, and he will fall. Kender also has to be in trouble. The buyback has come out from the Clinks. Right now, a 2-for-2 trade. Kender going to go down, I believe, here. I don't see you getting out. The arrow doesn't connect. Will actually survive. But now, all 5 heroes of Dire forced into the base. No Echo Slam. Love and Laughter with the Aegis. The Cheese still in his inventory, so deciding that he is the most valuable player right now. But he'll go in, gets the first hit bash on the Bloodseeker. Bloodseeker gets forced out the way by Kender, and then immediately Glimmer Cape. But Manga Dormu with the blink and the stun is in position, and they'll take out the Bloodseeker. He's also forced to buy back, but a big stun coming into Xeno. Has to be careful. Pops the Essence Ring, gets forced that back. Noob dropping low. BKB still surviving. It looks like PA may drop here. A big bash onto Clinks, and indeed they will lose the PA, but that's just the Aegis as she comes back. Meanwhile, though, Manga Dormu, the blink, the stun onto the Sven. Sven drops Burrow Hobbit. Gets hit with the minus armor. Sven's bought back. All 3 heroes of Dire are forced into the fountain right now. And Radiant, they just want to play it safe to secure the game. Echo Slam on cooldown, 50 seconds. Nobody's going to come in. The arrow isn't going to connect with anything. Mega Creeps sure to fall here as Dire has no way to stop Z Factor. And GG is called. Z Factor. Manga Dormu. I've got to give the shout to Manga Dormu this game, man. Those blinks, those stuns were perfect. He caught so many people that are uncatchable. You love to see that. Such a fast, aggressive pace. Made the game look easy for Z Factor. He just came online and he just kept going, kept setting up. Ooh, it was a powerful play. I love the way Z Factor played. I love the way they have such a solid, consistent strategy. They put love and laughter on the farm here. They pick these really good fighting, catching heroes. And they go. And you know, they win. And I gotta say though, man, the end of this game, definitely the Z Factor show. But look at this win probability. You're at 25 minutes in, and it's like 55%. It's such an even game for the longest time, and just with a couple of key fights, Z Factor start to take the lead. They start to press their advantage. They start to get a ranged Rex, get a Roshan. Oh, man. Megadorm were playing amazing. Fire. It was close, you know. They had that swing back, you know, the mid brawl where Z Factor won a fight, but then went a bit too deep looking for, I believe it was Noob on the Sen. Got turned on, lost a few people. Then they went a bit too deep, and they got turned on by Z Factor. And, you know, Z Factor just built that snowball little by little, rolling it down the hill, nurturing it, watching it grow into an avalanche. And then they swiftly executed the rest of the game. And it was brilliant. It was efficient Dota. It was making excellent use of the map, getting good objectives, finding good picks. Just an incredible game. And I realized I should probably join the lobby of the next one. I'm just too excited about that game. Let's see. Oh no, that's not the password. It's not my fault. They didn't post to join my lobby in post-game. Alright, we're here. Game number 2. It's gonna be wild. As we're going into the coin flip. While things load up, I'm gonna be back real quick. If the draft comes up, I'll leave it on. I'll just be a minute or two. Just gotta get some more water real quick.
Dire's turn to ban. It is Radiant's ban. It is Dire's ban. Radiant's turn to ban to pick. Radiant's turn to pick. Lich. Seconds. 5 seconds remain. Dire's turn to pick. Earth Spirit. Radiant's turn to pick.
Mirana.
Wow, I'm back. Z Factor decided to play game 1 again, and honestly, I don't blame them. Same band, same picks. The only difference right now is Marty Chang Slayer's choosing to pick up that Earth Spirit. Solid hero, so I can't blame him.
5 seconds. Dire's turn to ban. I speak for the
And they pick up the Nature's Prophet, a globally available hero, a very powerful core nowadays.
Dire's turn to Radiant's turn to ban.
Z Factor actually are playing this because they banned the Underlord, but no! Finally, they elect to do something different. They ban the Bloodseeker. Dops is playing
It is Dire's
a quick-fire round of drafting. She's just banning everything. Marty Chankslayers
10
choosing to ban that Slardar. I don't blame him. That hero looked so dirty last game.
seconds remain. It is Radiant's ban.
Bow Ranger picked up. Or banned out for the Dire. And man, still catching my breath from that last game. What a wild
10
one.
seconds remain. 5 seconds remain. Radiant must choose.
Oh, hold on. We're gonna have a bit of jank. I have to update the title. It's a very complex process. I have to put a 1 in instead of a 0. But we're back now. Terrorblade banned out. Unsurprising. I feel like these late game heroes are just no brainers to ban.
Remain.
They feel so rough to play against, especially if you're playing into Z Factor, because that's what they do with Love and Laughter. They'll give him one of these. Spectre? I haven't seen it, but I'm sure he'll love Spectre. Terrorblade? The no-brainer. If you like hitting creeps, you like Terrorblade. That's right, I said Terrorblade. Draft slowing down a bit here. Giving me time to catch my breath. They take the Treant Protector. A hero that I think is very underrated right now. He has a lot of control. He has a lot of damage. Gives you good vision. Overall, seems pretty good to me.
10 seconds. 5 seconds.
Z Factor. Also slowing down. Dobbs decides the quick draw round is over. Now it's time for us to deliberate. It's time for us to think. But just looking at it, the Lich Marana seems like such a structured decision that I'm sure that's why it was rapid fire. Is they've come into this game and they say, alright, we're gonna ban Doom Tiny, we're gonna pick Lich Marana.
Time to pick.
If we get those picks, we'll pick it every time. And a Bat Rider. I like Bat a lot here. Bat makes life hard for Earth Spirit, makes life hard for Tria, and is pretty much uncatchable by the Nature's Prophet Q.
10 seconds remain.
Both of these supports from Marty Chankslayers, unless it's a 3-tree, are very reliant on turning, unsurprisingly, but Earth Spirit especially. He uses that mobility all over the place, and removing that, it's very powerful. Also, these are heroes that like to get on top of you. Bat Rider likes those heroes, with the Napalm stacks, the Firefly, the Flame Break. You're a pretty big fan of that, so I really like this Bat Rider pick. And gets an excellent, not so much counter, it does counter Radiant, but it is an excellent response to force Marty Chankslayers and Burrow Hobbit onto the back foot in this second draft. Because now they're going to have to consider this game from the perspective of the Bat Rider, making life much harder for many of their heroes.
Dire must choose.
And they'll respond with an Earth Spear, or a Void Spear.
Anti-mage.
Excuse me. Oh! Oh, that's tasty, though. That seems to fit the Z Factor playstyle perfectly. A Void Spirit does have good ways to escape from the Bat Rider, but he also likes that turn rate, I mean, it feels weird to say it.
Turn to battle.
You're gonna say, every hero likes turn rate. But especially with, like, Earth Spirit and Void Spirit, heroes who, to use the most of their mobility, they have to face a certain direction. It could be dangerous.
10 seconds.
Man, I'm scared. Anti-Mage is pretty scary. I
5
mean,
seconds.
again, I've only seen the last Series 11 Laughter and Z Factor as a whole, but this seems to be right up his alley with the heroes that he chooses to play. As we enter the final stage of bans, Z Factor banning carries. I honestly think this is a carry natures.
Dire's turn to pick.
The Magnus ban, understandable, but I think they want something different in their offlane here. I'd like to see some more team fight control. Maybe a Centaur, to a lesser extent a Kunkka,
10 seconds remain.
even an X maybe, man. Something to give them some powerful control in these fights. Because they have a lot of miscellaneous disable, but nothing really you can center a team fight around.
Radiant's turn to pick.
Oh, pick a Lesh. Okay, so it's a Bat 3, I'm guessing, with a Lesh mid, but I like that. That's some good disable. You can follow up the lasso with it. It sets up for arrow. Obviously, it's a little bit harder to hit, but I think overall, it's solid. They don't really have
5 seconds.
the brainless disable. Not insulting that disable. You don't have the blink stop, You don't have that disabled, the, like, guaranteed CC. But they have enough of this sort of skill shot based CC to definitely be effective. And obviously they have the lasso. A Weaver.
Make the
I don't know how I feel about a Weaver, to be honest. Radiant are also lacking on control. All they really have is this Kender, ultimate. Now, Burra Hobbit is going to be the one playing the Nature's Prophet, so it is a support. Supporting, it looks like, Noob on the Weaver. Now, I am a big fan of Pause 5 Natures. I grounded out for quite a while and then never played it in an official match. But overall, it's going to depend on the catch, man. That's what I think. Both teams have very good catch to start fights. But I'm scared. This Bat Rider, you just lasso someone, and then you splitter at them, and then you arrow them. And then they're just deceased. Like, Noob is going to be forced into getting this Lincoln Sphere. But also, there's not a lot of solid lockdown on either team. But I think my gut feeling is I want to give this draft a slight advantage to Z. I feel like their fights are just a little bit easier. And Anti-Mage, who knows what we're going to see. Anti-Mage is going to have a real nice game, I think. The only thing that can really stop him is a Void Spirit. The Void Spirit has to get the Yules and the, he has to get the Yules and the Remnant. It's like the only disable that can actually catch this AM reliably. And Anti-Mage looks small. Look at how small this Anti-Mage looks. Is it just me or is that hitbox tiny? Like, look at Void Spirit, right? It's like what? The one... He's like 2 hands tall? Well, I guess that's not really an over. Oh, 1? Like 1.5. I don't know. That's a small AM. I'm excited, dude. I hate playing against AM, but I love playing AM, and I love watching AMs play. So I'm real excited to see this Love and Laughter play this AM, see what he does with it, as we do have a bit of a setup down bottom. Dops has the arrow. Dops has bought a Quelling Blade for herself to cut these trees. Look at this. It's going to be a 2-for-2 rune exchange. So, overall, you're fine with that. The block advantage will go to this Void Spirit, but might go too far. As Xenon isn't even blocking these creeps. Polo does too good of a job. They could end up under tower. Not quite. Okay. Very well. But actually, I think this is a lane where Polo will have to be very careful. There's a lot of good damage that Xenon can do, because he doesn't rely on that physical damage.
I see a lot of nothing in your...
No, Kender, you're gonna have a rough time. He has to be... Obviously, he's okay now, but he's gonna have a rough game later, as the Quelling Blade and the Firefly will just remove all of his trees. Now, the one kind of unfortunate thing for Dops is Mirana does like those trees to serve as a method for launching arrows from the fog. Not having those will kind of suck, but might suck more for Noob here. 5 stacks of sticky. Magadormu will get the 6th. Noob has to be careful. 7 whole stacks. 1 arrow, and he is definitely deceased. I don't care if you have 10... Well, the arrow won't connect, but the sentry's there. Noob will obviously know about it now. And now those stick charges will start adding back up. Gosh, this lane just feels so tense. You feel the killing intent from the side of Dire. It could come at any moment. Unlike these other lanes, which definitely seem to be much quieter. I think both of these mid laners are going to farm just fine. Xenon uses magic damage to farm, which should be able to secure most of his last hits. And Polo is going to get last hits with Resonant Pulse. But so far, it looks like it's very slightly favored towards this Void Spirit. Top, I think, also likely to be a quiet lane. I don't think you're going to see a kill out of the AM. Actually, it's Burr Hobbit 3. Alright, maybe I'm an idiot. Yeah, Burr Hobbit was playing the 3 last game. I'm actually insane. Apologies, guys. I'm crazy. But, Burr Hobbit, she'll probably farm okay, but I don't think you're really going to get too contested. He should have just a fine time. The stops, takes quite a bit of damage, does have the leap, so unlikely to die. Xenon now having that bottle will help his lane massively. As down bottom, Noob, 7 stacks of sticky, 8 stacks of sticky. That's going to be first blood. That killing intent that I talked about earlier. You just feel it whenever Batrider's in a lane. It is a bit costly for Mangadorm. It loses a lot of HP. But you'll take it for a first blood. You'll just buy a salve with the extra money. It's actually Love and Laugh. With that death on the Weaver, he will take off here. And he will get these last hits. So it's overall what you want. Doubling up that range. Powerful play. Meanwhile, Polo's courier dies. They want to go on Xenon, but they can't quite do it. And they'll secure the bottle for the Void Spirit. Looks like, though, Dops will take over the lane. Which you love if you're the Mirana. As Batrider dies. Oh, I don't pay attention. Unfortunate for me. So Weaver getting back into his lane. Whoa. Xenon wants to go. Slow. Cancels the stun, but the arrow is perfect. Taking a lot of damage on Polo. Dops isn't going to be able to commit to the dive. Gets pulled back. May actually take a lot of damage here. Dops has to be very careful. Another splitter does come out. They are going to take him out. They'll lose Dops in the process, but Xenon gets the kill. As long as he gets out, he's going to be okay with this. Additionally, look at this, Love and Laughter. Securing himself the bounty rune. And I think he denied the other one. I have to assume. So that's a 3 for 0. Oh no, never mind. Jinx got it. As I wasn't paying attention. That feels good though if you're... Oh. You're off to a fantastic start in your mid lane. Oh, and Noob. Noob! You can't get that many stacks on you, buddy. I mean, it's not his fault, right? What are you gonna do? But when you eat those 6 stacks like that into a level 4, the Flame Break, the Firefly, it's just too much. As a dive comes out from Xenon, resulting in a large TP. The stun is actually going to miss due to the trees from Burrow Hobbit, but I don't think it's going to matter. Burrow Hobbit will secure the last hit. So overall, they will kill that mid laner with a large rotation. Burrow Hobbit also has the ability to immediately TP back, so not a whole lot lost. But now, look at this Mega Tormu instantly starts putting the stacks back onto Noob, who is level 5. Once he hits level 6, it'll be a harder kill, but not impossible, as Mega Tormu picks up those Tranquils. Look at how much more careful Noob is being about not getting those sticky stacks.
What's the measure of power?
Meanwhile, though, in the mid lane, it's a level 6 brawl. But I believe... No, Xenon goes back in! Or, excuse me, gets gone back in on by Polo. Now, Void Spirit's start to his lane is looking pretty wonderful. AM, though, he's the one topping these charts. He has the last hits. As a Wraith Band, going for treads with the Ring of Regen, pretty common. Dops does manage to blink out of range, or leap out of range, as the shadows but will not escape. Fade time just a moment too long. As overall, seems like Marty Chang Slayer's coming out on top of this laning stage so far, with the exception of that top lane, which is heavily in favor of Love and Laughter right now. I mean, Nature's Prophet is farming as well. Burrow Hobbit, she's doing a good job of keeping up, but Love and Laughter, though, is just having the exact start that he wants. Although, you will have to be a little careful. These creeps do make it difficult, but I don't think you're really at risk. Your tower might be, though, without having that wave clear available. Lich, though, is coming in. Will have that living ice armor, Frost Shield, whatever it's called, and that'll pretty much put a stop to this push. Take a lot of damage. Xenon has to be so careful. Polo just feels totally dominant in this lane's look. He is just going deeper. Xenon forced to back off and stack a camp.
No.
Oh, Love and Laughter getting gone on by Jinx. A kick back, but that's not really going to result in anything. And the unfortunate Nature's Prophet ulti won't even connect the salve. He'll be just fine. Meanwhile, though, Batrider is going to fall. Burrow Hobbit TP's in. Not going to be enough. A good stun on the Burrow Hobbit, but likely to be a tier 1 to fall. Although, TPs are coming in. Dops is in the area. They see Kandera. Kandera gets good damage. Dops has to be very careful. Doesn't have a leap out and will fall as Polo's also rotating in. But Priora manages to juke out the remnant, but will pop to the crit. 5 Dire heroes are now pushing in this bottom tier 1. A bit of an odd rotation since it is traditionally the least important tier 1, but they will secure it. As we go into the 10-minute mark, you can see Radiant have a clear advantage on their cores this game. But AM brings the AM factor. Although these bounties look like they're going to go 3 for 1 and actually it looks like Xenon's going to get gone on the stun. Doesn't come out in time. Xenon does manage to dodge out that remnant, but unfortunately Illusion's right into it. You're on the side of Dire right now. You just have to try and hemorrhage out this bleeding. Your Z factor, as long as you don't keep getting picked, as long as you slow this game down, you're gonna be okay. Priora, though, he looks like he might be in trouble. The stun doesn't come out. The ice armor is there. There isn't a Chain Frost just yet, so Priora is pretty safe. The arrow comes out and connects onto the tree. Now Mangadormu, he's in a bit of trouble, but Xenon's here. Gets a good stun onto Burrhobbit, but the overgrowth is going to slow them down. The lasso, however, is here. That's going to be Burrhobbit falling. Jinx misses the stun, but now Polo's in, but he is out of mana. Puts down the remnant, gets walked into again. Again, this poor Leshrac goes into an ultimate he didn't need to, and now the tier 1 is going to fall. And Earth Spirit is just dealing a ton of damage. Love and Laughter is behind right now. This Void Spirit proving to be quite powerful.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Nature's Prophet comes in. Love and Laughter, though, is pretty safe. Still hard to catch. Look at this. Void Spirit is going for the Orchid. The Silence elected to be the most important in this early game, and I agree with him. If you silence this AM, he could die very fast. If you silence anyone, they could die very fast. But look at this. Poor Burrhobbit. There's no hope for you. But is there hope for a counter kill? Jinx gets a good silence. And now Polo's here. Oh, but the Chain Frost is available, bouncing extremely well in between both of Radiant's heroes. They lose no one, and they get a double kill. That's good money for the side of Xenon. Kendar tries to TP out, but he will not be allowed to. A beautiful fight from Radiant to pull them back from the snowball. Back from that slow downhill train. As they make a lot of money, the Chain Frost connects. I don't know how Priora does it. Whenever I use Chain Frosts, they always bounce poorly, but Priora just always seems to get such value out of this ability. Now the living armor's out, but Xenon he has Diabolic Edict, yes. It's a powerful ability that will rather quickly take it out. Jinx tries to go in, but the Nature's Prophet has a ton of sticky stacks on him, and he'll fall quickly. Polo's here, maybe looking for something, but electing not to go too aggressive. Jinx is about to fall. The roots there, the burn ticks, but he will survive on 20 HP, and they will kill Mangadormu. Right now, 3 for 3 as they look for Priora. But Priora doing a good job of juking. Polo's seen him, though. Polo doesn't quite have the mobility. Oh no, Jinx, don't get caught. You just survived. He'll get the kick, the stun, the pull. Jinx will survive. Ultimately, a 2 for 1 trade. It's not going to show up here, but they did take out Burrhobbit. Her death will end up being a slightly poor trade for Dire, I'd say, but the difference is, well, I suppose Weaver's farming, but so is AM. And oh no, Xenon! Oh, he does tick! I thought there's no way he was going to get out, and I was correct, it would seem. That silence proving too powerful, an excellent pickup for Polo. Now going into that Eul Scepter. AM, though, the Battle Fury's coming. So once he gets that Battle Fury, of course, he will start escalating his farm. This has been the slow farm AM just behind the side of Radiant's heroes. Not going to farm that top lane. Weaver, however, has his full Deso, so Weaver has nothing to stop at, as it looks like they're going to elect to push in this tier 2 while Kender falls. Oh no, Kender is buying so much time, but if you're Radiant, you're so pleased with this. You just got into tier 2 at 15 minutes! That is an excellent, excellent maneuver for Love and Laughter. Or for Love and Laughter, for the side of Marty Changslayers. Love and Laughter, however, has his Battle Fury. I combined my 2 talking points into one and said something totally wrong. Because now Dops and the gang will try to push down tier 1 tower. Xenon does have that Diabolic Edict. The armor won't do much to protect it. 2 TPs are here, but that's it. The stun is late, as they actually didn't know he's here, but immediately he is going to get pulled together. He does manage to get the dissimulate, and it looks like Dops will be the first to fall. Mangadormu does manage to get a good dodge. Actually, it was the Lesh to fall first on Xenon. Mangadormu trying to get away. They don't have vision. It's fading. He just revealed himself. He has to be so careful. The invis has faded now. He tries to go into the trees. The roll does somehow connect. Looked like he was going the other way. And meanwhile, up top, Noob will catch out Priora. And this game is looking to start swinging pretty heavily in Radiant's favor. Is now Love and Laughter. He's got to be careful. But the silence is there. He didn't hit that E button in time. The damage, I don't think it's going to be enough to kill him, and he'll get the blink out. Now Weaver has to be a bit careful. And actually, maybe it's Burrow Hobbit that has to be careful. As Xenon goes in deep, the Euls will actually prevent the latch from Jinx, but it's not going to matter. That's going to be a kill for them. And man, this is feeling pretty dangerous. This is a strong timing for Marty Changslayers, as they're rapidly accelerating into a pushable position. Mangadormu, though, he knows Kender's there. Kender trying to survive, trying to juke. He's just sitting in the trees and there's no vision. Meanwhile, Polo, he's getting vision given to him, and now the dodge will miss. Mangadormu doing an excellent job of staying out of the damage. Does get Orchided up. Meanwhile, though, Burrow Hobbit goes onto Dops. Dops will manage to get out. So far, nobody lost. Mangadormu. Oh no, this Radiant Tower noob sees Mangadormu. The Deso, the damage is absolutely massive. He will fall, and now Xenon is forced to back up. This tier 2 likely to fall rather quickly. Love and Laughter. The game feels almost entirely on his shoulders at this point. The Manta's not even online. And I don't think Radiant gets weak. Radiant feels like they're going to keep getting stronger. Love and Laughter, he's doing what AMs do. Splitting, farming, using whatever he can to keep his game accelerating. Radiant aren't really in a position where they can go high ground just yet. Actually, Love and Laughter. You gonna blink after that courier? No. And he'll get silenced up. He'll get pulled back, but I don't think this is going to be enough to kill him unless the secondary silence comes out, and that will definitely be enough to kill him. And he desperately needs this Manta, man. Without it, he is just going to keep dropping. Such a brilliant counter item, and getting the second one seems to be the power play. As now Xenon is the one to get caught out next. The Euls isn't going to save him. The Chain Frost, though, it is powerful. Bounces from Kender back to Jinx. It's a lot of damage, and actually, Polo will drop, and Burrow Hobbit. Xenon still surviving. He'll tick out to the Orchid. But overall, that's 3 kills for the side of Dire. That's a lot of money. Unfortunately, most of it going to Priora, which isn't exactly what you want, but you'll take it. AM. This man desperately needs this Manta style. Keep his game going. Burrow Hobbit feels like... Mangadormu feels like he's just fallen off. Going for a Blink Dagger, not the traditional mid build that we've been seeing in now Mangadormu, he's in trouble. He has to be so careful. Dobbs is here to do some damage, but she is not enough damage to save her offlaners. Now Noob chases the bug. Isn't going anywhere, and the stun will connect, and that is an instant death. Noob feels powerful and is going for that Linken's and feels just unstoppable. And this game feels desperate for Dire, especially with Love and Laughter still not having this Manta style. Xenon has just totally fallen off, it feels like, unable to really do much of anything. And oh no, Xenon, not like this, as he is going to drop rapidly. The silence is there. The Yules, though, dodges the stun and actually can dare taking a lot of damage. Priora with the pull on to Jinx. That's going to get them at least a kill. Noob is forced to backtrack, but they're still in the area. Now, though, Polo with the silence onto Prioria is going to drop, but he does get the net off in time, making it hard to get on top of Dobbs. There isn't really a push potential. I heard an Orchid, but I believe that was just Mangadormu teleporting out. Love and Laughter has done a very good job of cutting these creeps, so there's not a very good push in the mid lane, at least, for Dire, but they are going to be able to freely push bottom. Love and Laughter still... This Manta just feels miles away, as there's nowhere safe for him to farm. Final tier 2 will fall. And now, though, the Nature's Prophet coming in. Is he going to be able to dodge the Orchid? He is not. The dodge, though, onto Jinx, and another silence to follow up. The roll is juked out. Polo's here with the next silence, though. And he'll get pulled back, and he will drop. And I'll tell you, obviously it's a tight window, but I feel like this counterspell's got to come out more. As Radiant walk into Roshan. Love and Laughter needs to hit this counterspell. I feel like with a Nature's Prophet especially when it's not just about dodging the silence or reversing the silence. If you counterspell, you're buying yourself that second of time. And that second of time is your blink. But spell just feels forgotten. Like I said, obviously, it's a very tight window, but you gotta hit it. As Radiant take the Aegis. And I can't do it! Noob sees someone and they're dead. And oh no, Love and Laughter, please, tries to blink. Just hit the dispel, just hit the E button. Hit that magic shield. And they'll lose Xenon instead. It looks like AM will be able to get out, and they'll lose Priora too here. He tries to TP, but with the roll, that was bold. A 4-second cooldown. Buyback from Lich. Chain Frost is still powerful. But no Fortify. I believe the tower's likely to fall here. The Ice Armor doing a lot, but I don't think it's going to do enough. As indeed it falls. Now Mangadormu still waiting on that Blink Dagger. Went for Yules, but decided not to, and now it just feels too late as the melee racks fall. Will they try and catch something? No. Chain Frost just to clear out the creeps. As now AM goes to cut the next wave, possibly. But, I don't know. The problem is I don't think this AM feels like he can show on the map anywhere.
Shadows.
And rightfully so. The second he reveals himself, he just gets gone. And finally, he's approaching this Manta style. That ward is unfortunately going to get immediately dewarded. AM buys out the Manta. No buyback. But it feels like he's nothing until he has that buyback. Meteor Hammer comes out, but it gets canceled. The roll isn't going to connect. AM blinks deeper. Oh, and if his courier goes down, it would be disastrous. He has to get out of here. He has to get back. The roll isn't going to connect, and he has the Manta. So much harder to get gone on now. As Polo not going for that Aghanims, and in fact, this is just a very dead Xenon, although Prioria's here. Oh, but no, he's falling just too fast. That's just a quick double kill as Dops gets out. No, Manga Dormu, not like this. You're desperately trying to find Jinx. Dodges the roll. Dodges. He's a juke hero, but he will eventually fall. Love and Laughter starts to build up this Basher. Looks like the entire game's on his hand. Oh, he knows that he's there. He hits E this time. Now he can Manta out. Now he can blink. Now he can deal damage. Burrow Hobbit force pop the BKB TP. And this is the difference now. Now Love and Laughter can do a lot more, but the bottom tower is probably going to fall. You have to imagine. With these dire heroes dead, there's not much of a defense that you can mount. Do you have a fortify? Looks like they may be trying to buy time for this backdoor, for these buybacks. You get the ward. It is a little bit risky to push up high ground, even with the Aegis on Polo. They're going to do damage now, but a good lasso comes back. An arrow does connect also onto that Nature's Prophet, and he will fall. Dops, though, taking a lot of damage. Polo has gone in deep. Jinx doesn't manage to get the roll, gets used up. Dops is very weak, probably going to die to Noob here. Actually, Noob, it looks like he's just going further, and now 3 heroes are dead. The buyback, that is a huge Chain Frost, though. Priora hits a big one, taking out the Aegis of Polo. Polo now has to get out. They do manage to get the silence onto Leshrac, though. But now it's a 5v1, and I think this game may just be over. It wasn't quite enough. Weaver got out on 1 HP and got the time-lapse off. And now Radiant are free to finish this game, as I don't think you're able to mount a defense right now. Buyback from Dops. Noob has the Linken's popped. They pop the dust, does manage to catch him. Radiant pushing rapidly. First tier 4 fallen. Second tier 4 going down as we speak. It's going to be a 4v5 here. The silence does come out. Burr Hobbit pops the BKB. That is a dead Fat Rider, a dead AM, and a dead game. As GG is called. What a second game. Unfortunately, for the side of Z Factor, they weren't able to stem that bleeding of the early game, but a brilliant way to keep the pressure on for the side of Marty Chang Slayers. It was a fantastic second game. What a comeback from the first game for them. And here's the thing, before we even go to the graphs, we know, all right, they're Radiant. I think Radiant's up. The graph is going to just go like this, I think. All right, almost. Just kind of, they just kind of won, and then won some more, and then won some more. But a brilliant play. I gotta say, the double Orchid was just so good at preventing Love and Laughter from having a game. This man couldn't show until he had his Manta, and his Manta came out pretty late. He only had 4 deaths, but those 4 deaths were all at the time where he needed to be farming. Ultimately, though, what a series. Both teams playing exceptionally well. It's a fun ride to watch. Man, what a hype game. For now, though, this has been Matt Cuth with your solo cast. I'll be around for sure in the coming future. I took a bit of a break this week. I only really casted